You're listening to Life and Shyt. I'm Danielle Walker.
And I'm Tommy Walker.
Join us as we talk about our journey overcoming fears, boundaries, marriage, family, lifestyle, business, and whatever other shit you can think of.
We're individuals that came together to create one unit with one mind and one goal. What's up, girl?
What's up, baby?
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
You say you good like you already know what I'm gonna ask. Are you really good? you just ready to say you good.
Hey, that's one of those things that just rolls off the tongue, right? Like, are you good? You really want to know how I feel? Like, shit, I'm having a hell of a day. You
I know you are. That's right. I'm good. Right?
Nobody want to hear all that.
You ain't
I don't want to
really
hear all
good.
that. Like, oh, I'm trying to hold it together. Like, oh, here's a loaded question.
Sometimes
or not.
you got to be real.
Or not.
It's called life and shit for a reason.
All right, so you want to know?
Yeah. How you feeling?
I'm all right.
Yeah, there we go. Got a question for you with your eyed ass.
What's up?
Do black people go camping?
That's a good question. So I know when we first started camping, people were like, why would you sleep outside? Like, black people don't sleep outside. Like, I don't know. Like, why would you do that? But yes, we do camp and we enjoy it. I will say though, when we do camp, we don't see a lot of black people out there, but we are out there.
I think in all the years we've been camping, it's probably been like one other black family. Mm-hmm. And that's like maybe one other black family, but that's West Coast shit.
Yeah.
So
okay.
If you live in Georgia, if you like in Atlanta area, Savannah, I don't know. Like if you listening to this and you in Georgia and you camp, please put a comment like, I'll be out there.
Yeah,
I'll be camping.
I didn't even think you camped in Georgia and places like that. I thought you only camp on like the coast. I mean, see, this is how much I know about camping.
That's a
you
bias.
Know what I mean? Like, yeah.
You only camp on the coast?
Yeah, because why would you want to?
They got more trees.
Okay.
They got way more trees.
Okay.
They got the real camping.
Okay.
We got fancy camping over here, a.k.a. glamping, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
well, that's
we're going to talk about that. Corny ass camping. That's what I call it. So you say black people do camp. I remember the first time I camped. When was the first time you camped?
The first time you camped too.
No.
Church?
That was the first time. No, but you went to.
No.
You went
Okay,
to fancy
you're right.
camp.
You're right. So that wasn't like. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. It wasn't formal though. I got on a bus with a bunch of kids, and then I went camping. And I had to have my little bag packed, and it was missionary camp, and it was really, really cool.
I'm sorry. Every time you say it, I laugh. Missionary camp. I'm like, what did you learn in missionary camp?
I learned how to be a lady.
Oh, okay. All right.
I was taught things like where my spoon is supposed to go, my fork is supposed to go, and then how to present yourself as a lady, and then how to walk, and then like we literally had to hold the book over like on top of our heads and walk with the books and things like that. So, but I did archery, so I had a ton of fun, back then. But yeah, that was my very first camp experience, and it was crazy because I was the only black girl at the whole entire camp. Okay. So that was one thing.
That makes sense.
So, and now, I mean, just people know I grew up in California. So I didn't grow up around a lot of black people. So I tried to do a lot of things that weren't of me. So like going to camp, I try to wash my hair with them and do all this other stuff. And it just does not work if you guys.
So was that in the summertime that you did that?
Yeah.
So that was summer camp.
It was summer camp.
So all right. So for the record, that wasn't a real camp. So, because the way I grew up, every summer, y'all going to summer camp this year. It was like, okay, all right, we going to summer camp. Summer camp was at the goddamn elementary school that we went to school all year round.
No.
Like, that was summer camp.
No. That's that ghetto stuff. No. I actually got on a bus and was actually like shipped all the way up to some location that had like waterfalls. And I mean, I was in LA, but I don't remember at all where we went. But it was gorgeous, and it was definitely it's like a whole nother world. They took us out.
That was like what you see on on the movies. Then.
Yeah, it was definitely like that. It was like sleepaway camp or something, you know.
That's super dope.
It was amazing, and it's like one of those things where you're like in it, so you don't know what's going on. You know, it's just like, oh, I'm at camp, and I had an awkward, like I said, I had awkward experiences because I was the only black girl, but you know, I got over it. You know?
That's almost similar to that band camp type shit. Right? So I went to summer camp in the hood, right, and then we sent our kids to YMCA. That was camp, right? Mm-hmm.
Oh, and all of our kids went to 6th grade camp.
Yeah, but that wasn't even.
No, they got bussed up somewhere.
Yeah,
so they
wasn't camping. It was more of a glamping. So all right, so I did have an experience like that where when I was in elementary school, I think I was in it was first grade. I think I was in first grade, and we all took a bus and we had to go. It was like up in the mountains somewhere.
And this was school related,
School related.
So like mine was not school related. That was separate.
That's the only thing. That's the thing.
My daddy's like, you need to go to that church.
The only time we did anything was school related. So, and we spent. I want to say we spent like 3 or 5 days in this cabin. It was me, my friends, like and it was cool. Like that's the only thing I remember.
I don't know if I know the story.
It was. It was
5th grade. Where did you go?
No, it was like first or second grade.
First or second. Where did you go? You were in New York.
Zero. Like I
have a
no
really
recollection
good
of
memory.
where we were. So it was one of those things where, because I'm a car baby, right? So car baby means every time I get in the car and it starts moving, I'm going to sleep. So we were on the cheese bus. You know what the cheese bus is? You don't know what cheese bus is? For those that don't know, a cheese bus is the yellow school bus. So we was on that's when you had no seat belts. It was green seats. So we was on the cheese bus. We went up to
the cheese bus.
Yeah, we was at and it was an hour. It was a few hours. So I don't know if we went to upstate New York. I don't know if we went to the Poconos. I don't know if we went to like wherever there's mountains close to New York. That's where we were.
Okay.
And it was in a cabin, and I wouldn't call that camping. I just call that spending the night in the mountains somewhere.
Was it snowing?
Nah, no snow.
Okay.
Nah, it was cold in the motherfucker, but there was no snow. But then the first time we actually did some real camping was in church, right? When me and you was in church together.
Yep.
So we was adults at this time now.
Yeah.
But that wasn't even real camping.
We had tents.
Yeah,
right. We slept outside.
It was concrete. Like we literally slept in the parking lot, kind of.
Well, that was a camp land.
Camp land on the bed.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Nah, that wasn't really.
That wasn't no camping.
Right. The first time we really did camping was when we did it together.
Yeah. We was like, all right, we're going out into the trees, to the wilderness. Granted, right on the other side was the freeway, but you know what I mean. But as long as you didn't look on that side. And you looked on the inner side, you seen the lake and the trees and all the animals that came with it.
Yeah, and one of our first places that we went to was Lake Jennings. Lake Jennings is amazing. We had a great time, and we always get spot like 51, I believe it is, or 49. It's like one of those spots, and it's right there. Don't get my spot now. No, I'm just kidding. Get that spot. It's beautiful. It's like right there. The lake is right there in front of you. We set up our camp right there in the midst of it, so it was fun. And then the playground, if you have children, the playground was right there, and then the bathrooms. But the first night that we actually set up camp, the first time we went camping, we didn't have air mattresses. Oh yeah, I gotta have an air mattress now, y'all. And
glamping.
We had the what do you call them? The sleeping bags.
Yeah.
And we
like you're supposed to.
Literally felt snakes underneath us, like going, because they don't go straight, right? They go side to side to side to side. And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah. Oh. They wiggled against our skin.
It's like they're looking for warmth, so they're coming. That was the last time. I was like, oh no.
So granted, camping was a discussion that we had. Like we wasn't serious about it until we was up at Simi Valley and we was hanging out with your stepfather.
Yep.
And we mentioned to him like, yeah, one day we want to go camping. And we walking through Walmart and he was like, yo, Tommy, you talked about camping. He was like, you guys have stuff for it? I was like, nah, we haven't crossed that line yet, but eventually we want to get there. And he was like, well, I think this, and he bought the biggest, it was like a 12-person tent.
Yep.
And
all
everything came
the
inside
fixings.
of it.
And then he even found things like, oh, here's a stove that you could camp up, you could put on your back and take all the way up the hill, and then you can barbecue it.
All kinds of shit. I was like, he was like, get this, get that, get that. I'm like, oh shit, like, I mean, this dude, like, he really hooked it up.
Yeah, he did. Shout out to
so that was like, okay. So he bought all this cool stuff. I guess we got to go camping now.
True.
So that was right after that is when we decided, like, all right, let's set the date and let's go, because now your stepfather gave us all this. It wasn't just go sit in the garage, so we got to make it happen.
Oh man, and you know what? Shit, I apologize, as you even bringing that up. I can't not think of all the times that I did go camping with him when I was a child. I totally did not even think
so
of
you
those.
Did do real camping.
We went to Yosemite. We did a lot of really cool shit when I was a kid, and it was just me. So yeah, I did forget about that. But I was like you. I was like 1, 2, like until 5, until about 5-ish. But I seen the pictures, so I know it happened. I was there, but I don't really remember it like that.
Until your brothers and sisters came along, that's when it stopped.
Yeah, so all that stuff stopped. You don't go nowhere.
It's usually how it works. When you're the oldest in your family, you got all the fun until the next one comes, and it's like, damn it, man.
Like, why you know everybody? Because we used to travel back in those days. Then you came and we stayed home.
But now we couldn't do nothing because of your ass. So we're going to do something different in this podcast. We actually, if you're listening to us, take the opportunity to check us out on YouTube. And if you're on YouTube already, we actually got, some photos that we want to share from our camping experiences. And this is the first time we go try it out and see how it works out. You know what I mean? But the biggest thing about camping, the number one thing, as you said, when you did it with your stepdad, and then when he brought all the cool stuff for us, we was like, all right, let's do it, was family, right? Getting together with the family, the quality time, that was huge.
Yes.
And one thing with our kids, when we took them camping, they didn't have cell phones at the time. So it was like, all right. So first time we ever went camping, we was the only ones with cell phones. And we was like, all right, y'all, this is what we going to do. Let's have a good time, spend time together. And then as they got older is when we had to take the cell phones away.
Right. I mean, it got to the point that they actually enjoyed and wanted to give. They were like, okay, we're camping, like no cell phones. Let's just enjoy each other. And I love that about them as well.
Yeah, they was cool about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and we're going to show some pictures of, just the kids. It's like, it was the kids and the family stuff. And then you'll see how, the whole camping trip evolved from there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like it was super dope. So, if you're thinking about camping, if you never tried it, if you like, well, why should I do it? The very number one reason, I said it already, quality time with your family.
Like, or whoever you go with. If it's just like you and one person, because that's our other thing is that we've gone with family, and then we've gone with friends, and we've gone with friends and family, and then we've gone with our family, and our kids will be like, can you not bring friends anymore? Could it just be us? And that's how valuable that like family time is, and that personal time that we had, is that our kids recognize this is the time that we actually get you guys, and we don't want anyone else there. And I love that. But we also had some really fun times where we brought a ton of people up, and we like either they'll stay the whole time, or some people will sleep over, or then we got to the point where we had like a whole kids tent, then we had a boys tent, a boys tent, and then a girls tent, and then us.
Yeah. So that's the first photo of the family.
Yeah.
And then we got our kids, and then our niece, London, with us.
Our baby girl Shayna giving up the deuces there. Our only boy, now, and then our oldest.
Yeah. Now you said the boys tents and all this stuff. Now we didn't evolve to multiple tents until after the first time. The first time we was all in that one big ass tent.
Yes, we were.
And that's when the snake went under the tent, because it was on our side for whatever reason. And that snake got right up in between me and you.
Yes.
And you, no, we wasn't. Was we in? I can't remember if we was in separate sleeping bags, because I felt it.
Yeah, I definitely felt it.
So and it was a little cool outside.
Yeah, it was.
So the snake comes right in between, and you freaked out. And I was like, oh shit! All right, let me just make sure the tent was closed. So as long as the tent was closed, I think we was good. I was like, tent's closed. There's no holes because it's a brand new tent. So we're good. And we never had the snake issue after that.
Okay, well then snakes weren't they weren't the worst. But one time we got the spots. We didn't get the one that I told you guys about, the 51 or the 49 that has a beautiful view. We got it on the other side, and this is where they actually clean the fish that they caught. This is where they the bathrooms were. So we were like, oh, this might be cool. So I would say around 9 o'clock, just as it got nice and dark, we were feeling little critters, and I was like, oh, like what is this? And the kid's like, those are mice. At least 10 to 15 mice. And we had a BB gun. Yeah. And so our son just started picking them up.
It was a lot of mice. And we was right next to it. So Danielle and her glamping, she wanted to be close to the bathroom, right?
Super close. I gotta go.
She's a runner.
I gotta go.
She's a runner. She's a track star. When it comes to that bathroom time,
I gotta go.
Yeah, especially, and of course we camping, so we got wine and all other kind of drinks. So she's like, the closer to the bathroom, cool, let's do it. I mean,
never again.
There had to been like a whole 20 family. It had to have been 20.
It had to.
They was all over the place.
I mean,
unless they was that fast, unless it was 5 of them that fast.
That was just like bing, bing, bing,
that was all
bing,
over
bing,
the place.
bing.
So now, I don't know if mom knows this or not, but my mother-in-law is terrified of mice. Like, she can't stand mice. And we was like, and this was the first time she was supposed to stay the night.
She had her own tent. So she had the grandma tent. So
she was ready. Like, she was prepared. First time she ever she got all her own stuff ready to go. And we was out there all day, and she came
excited.
Yeah, and she came after work. And I was like, all right, by the time mom get here, things is gonna be good. Danielle says, mom's scared of mice.
Don't tell her.
Don't tell her nothing. I was like, what? I was like, first of all, I didn't know she was scared of mice. And second, I was like, I can't not tell her, because if mice come out, I got to take care of it. Like, something's going to happen. She's going to have a heart attack. Something's going to happen. I was like, yo. So mom's, she's hanging out. She's having a good time. And I was like, all right. Everybody was starting to leave. And I was like, yo, mom, there's mice everywhere.
Here's the skinny.
I was like, I don't know if you want to stick around. If you do, it's no problem. I just want to let you know there's a lot of mice around here. Me and Amari been shooting them all night.
Oh my.
She was like, nope.
Yeah.
She packed her shit and she was gone.
Yeah. The kids were like, I want her tent, because we had already put it all together.
She left everything. She was like, I'm hopping in the car. Well, I think it was your sister at the time. She was like, I'm out. I was like, I'm glad we did that.
Yeah, because she would have. That would have been horrible. The other time, the only other thing are the bugs, and I would say that we camped for at least four good times before I really was like, okay, these bugs are a bit crazy, because it's like, it's all dark. We're just chilling, we're chilling, we're having a good time, and we don't pay attention to the bugs. And one of our friends, Connie, shout out to Connie, she came and she had her cell phone. We don't use cell phones there either, right? We're like with just the lantern sometimes, just to guide us to the bathroom or on a walk. But she took the cell phone and she's like, "Oh my God, look at the dirt!" And literally there was bugs everywhere.
Yeah. That's part of the territory. That's what you're supposed to do in nature. You get bit by bugs. Just don't get bit by a snake.
Don't look at them. Just don't look at them. Yeah,
one of my favorite things, me personally, so we usually camp after the first time we camp. The whole family loved it, so we started camping on Father's Day every year.
Yes.
So that was like my favorite time of the year. All the kids, all of us get together. We bring our nieces and nephews out, and we go camping for Father's Day. One of the things I always hung my hat on, because hanging out with my uncle, he would always take me fishing. So my uncle's a dope fisherman, and shout out to my uncle Dara. He's in Florida now, and like whenever we hung out, it wasn't like he went to the grocery store and bought food. No, he was like, yo, for dinner, it's whatever you catch. And it was like, oh, snap. All right.
Shoot, you would have been hungry. That's a nice picture of the lake.
Yeah, so that's me on the lake catching nothing.
Nothing.
Like, all the years we've been fishing, I have caught one fish, and that wasn't even camping.
I was just fishing.
Yeah, I was just fishing. So then me trying to pass on, what my uncle taught me, I'm passing on to my daughter and my niece and, my nephew, everybody. We're fishing, like, every time we go, and they love it. Like, they enjoy it. But the whole time I'm there, I'm like, we ain't catching shit. And they looking at me like, Uncle Tommy, Dad, when's the fish going to jump in? Because everybody else around the lake, they just pulling them out. like it's nothing.
There's our niece London and Shayna, our baby girl.
Yeah,
they loved it.
I enjoy fishing. They enjoy fishing, and I always had to come up with an excuse of why we wasn't catching that.
As I'll never forget, I can't remember if it was Amari or I think it was our son. He's like, "Dad, we don't know how to fish, huh?"
Yeah. I was like, "You don't know how to fish, homie."
I was like, "No, we don't know how to fish. We don't catch fish."
I took offense to it. I was like, "Homeboy, like, no, I grew up fishing on the Atlantic Ocean. I know how to fish."
He's like, "Why we ain't catching no fish then?"
I'm like, "Y'all making too much noise." I came up with all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
It's them.
Yeah, so fishing and hiking was always like the cool shit. Like we had a really good time fishing and hiking. And again, like it was that quiet time. It was that opportunity to just have some conversation with each other, right? And you know, granted, like, you know, we make fun do Black people camp. Like, you know, we don't see a lot of Black people out there, and for whatever reason, you know, you don't take your family camping. I highly recommend it. Like highly, like get out there and spend that quality time.
I don't know if I even knew it was an option. It was like $16 back in the day. I'm believing it's probably like 35 now. A night to stay at the campsite, and that's like virtually nothing. I'm like, man, we can live on the campsite. You just pop up a tent, and then you have the fire pit, and you got the facilities on the side. It was, I mean,
better than staying in a hotel.
Yeah, and then your family gets to try something different. You get to connect to nature, and that was awesome. We always go on a hike. We always every single morning, I would say we would go on the long hike all the way up the hill, and then we'd see all the different animals that you can spot out there, and then we'd be looking for the different plants. The kids will go. There's scavenger hunts that you could do. So we had a really good time. Yeah,
and it's one thing about, you know, the expectations, right? It's like, have no expectations, right? Like, we always talk about that. Like, don't get out there and be like, oh, this is going to be a magical trip. Like, nah, you just go out there and whatever happens.
Right.
Right. Now, one thing I do hate about camping, or a couple things, is packing. So it's a couple things. It's two things, but it's the same thing. So packing on the way there and then leaving.
Yes.
That shit, man, fuck that.
Yeah. Yeah, you see there, we're all.
That's exactly what packing looks like. Like,
oh man, it's like you're trying to squeeze everything in. I don't mind packing to go. I don't like packing to come back.
Yeah.
I hate that part. But the packing to go for me and you is two different things, right? Because I have to prepare all the food. So I usually season all the chicken or whatever. And we don't do hamburgers and hot dogs the whole time. If I did, then that would probably be an easier life, you know? But no, I do a shrimp boil.
Yeah, all kinds of fancy stuff. But one thing, like, as you can see, like, packing was a whole week for us. And at one time we actually got smart and created a checklist.
Yes.
We was like, all right, let's do a checklist of everything that we need so we don't forget nothing. And and then plus it was because we always had so many people going with us. It was like, all right, let's make sure we got something for everybody. And that's legitimate. Like, that's what the vehicle looks like every time we go packing.
Every single time.
Now, leaving, whenever we packed up to leave, I would go fishing. And I would take all the kids to go, all the little kids. I'm like, all right, all the little kids come with me, let's go fishing. And then Danielle would have all the older kids, and then y'all would pack everything up, and then boom, it was time to rock and roll.
Yeah, and then that was because usually I got there and all the tents were already popped up and everything was all kind of set up and taken up. Yep, and it was taken care of, and then so I was responsible for doing the takedown, and the takedown is no joke.
Yeah, that's real stuff, and I don't remember what photo we got next, if it's the RV or the food, but. The RV. So that one time we had an RV. That was the last time we went camping.
That's because we experienced it in a whole nother light.
That was now that's glamping right there.
That was. Well, it's messed up because our kids are in those tents and we were in.
And we were in the RV. We had the suite. The kids had all the tents, like. And then, of course, you know, like how we do, you know, we always push the envelope. You're only supposed to have one tent.
Right.
We got like 4 tents. We got 4 tents, an RV,
the car,
the pop up. Like, we done maximized the space.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
You know, for the low, the $16. They should have triple charged us.
You can tell we a little more experienced in this picture because we have the trash can, the pop up trash can. Like, oh, okay, like we had it going on.
Yeah. I mean, we got a little fancier.
Yeah.
We definitely got a little fancier. Now, and we consider ourselves, you know, real camp enthusiasts, because when we did our vacation up the coast, the West Coast, our goal was to camp at every single, you know, opportunity.
Yes.
So we packed
for those KOAs.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. We packed up the tent. We packed, like, all right, this is, you know, and it was the summertime, so he's like, it's gonna be perfect. We could camp the entire time. It'll cost us $30 maybe a night.
You don't have to pay for a hotel room. We're like, this is awesome.
And that shit did not go that way.
No. I mean, well, it was the summertime in California, so every place was booked. Nowhere to stay. So
hey, now I know. Like this stuff, you don't know that stuff until you actually go out and do it. So now our budget was for camping, and now we had to subsidize that budget for hotels. Right. It was like, oh my gosh.
That's a whole nother story too.
Yeah. So of course, like Danielle said, she get the food prepared. She does the menu. So, as true Black people, we out here frying chicken.
Frying chicken. Oh man, I tell you, we were everybody's friends.
Yeah.
Everybody like.
Well, you had that whole campsite lit up.
Are you guys frying chicken over there?
Like, everybody was coming over like, it smells good over here.
So note to self: next time, bring way more chicken.
No. People were just stopping by like it, no lie. Everybody was stopping by like, what are you making over there? I'm just frying some chicken.
Yes.
That was it.
And this is camping, right? So people were doing hamburgers and hot dogs and hot links.
Yeah.
And
unless you had the RV. If you was in an RV, you was probably doing something fancy.
Yeah.
But where we were, nah. Everybody was on the grill.
Yeah, and we got this pop-up like stove, so that was amazing. I for breakfast I fried chicken. For dinner I fried chicken. For breakfast I fried bacon, eggs. Like we had
Making pancakes.
Yeah, pancakes.
Yeah.
And I made the mix before we got there, so that's a little secret. You make the mix and have it already there, so you don't have to worry about mixing things when you get there. You put the eggs in a little cart container as well, so we had it down packed.
You put in mad work.
Yeah,
all I kept saying was like, yo, y'all kids is fancy. Like your auntie over here putting in mad work, your mother's putting in mad work, and I'm like, my wife's putting in mad work. We was all loving it though.
Yeah, we had a good time. We were nice and full.
Yeah, man, full. It was like being at home. Like we ain't miss a beat.
That's true. That's true.
So being out in nature, having good food, rekindling our bond with our family that once a year was always beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Sleeping under the stars, that was one of the best things. And the fire.
Your fire stories.
Yes. Oh man, we had some. I love scaring the kids. I love to scare them to death. So one time, we were telling stories, and I talked to the neighbors across, and I told them, hey, I'm gonna tell this story. I want to say it was of a kid that was missing.
Yeah, it was a kid that went missing.
And I wanted to bring them in for validation, and halfway through the story I told them, like, I'm gonna give them a signal and they're to come in and be like, hey, did you find that kid, or did you hear about that kid? And they did it.
I can't believe they bought into it. Like they was all the way in.
Amazing.
I mean, like they
were in it.
It was our neighbors, the next spot over. They came over the rocks, like, and I was like, what the fuck's going on? They was like, hey, did you? And the kids was terrified.
They were so scared.
That's because you watch all that American Horror Story shit. That's what it is.
I had that planned out. Yeah. That was just...
all that scary shit you watch on TV, you're like, I want to make it a reality.
Hey, they were with it too, because they're like, let's do it.
Yeah, had me. I was like, what the fuck going on?
Yeah, poor kids.
Yeah,
even when I told them it wasn't, it was a joke, they were still like, scared.
Yeah, and roasting marshmallows, like you got to do roasting marshmallows and s'mores and all that.
S'mores, yes.
This is stuff we don't do in Queens. Shout out to everybody in New York. If you live in New York, if you're in the tri-state area, you got to do camping. And if you're actually looking at this is a photo of me when I didn't have any hair, so I was still on my Queens waves. And this is my oldest daughter, Thais. She's in a picture, and we don't remember exactly what year, but this was in Ensenada.
Yes,
like we went to Ensenada to go camping. So now we leveled up our camping, right? Mm-hmm. We went to Ensenada, and it was like a damn monsoon.
Yes.
So we get there, and of course, we've told this story before, not looking at the weather. We're notorious for not looking at the weather.
Just travel.
Yeah, we just be out there, figure it out when we get there. So the storm hits Ensenada. It was like a monsoon, and the kids is in the tent next to us. We're in the tent. There's hole, like all of a sudden, the holes go in the tent. There's leak. Like I'm like, oh shit. There's duct tape. Like I'm putting duct tape up. The kids like, yo, that was crazy last night, huh? I was like, yo, it was mad crazy. They survived. They was cool. They ain't trip out. They slept the whole night. We slept the whole night, but that was probably one of the craziest camping experiences, like from weather-wise.
I mean, whether we were in Mexico, we didn't know any of the language. We're like, can we go to swimming? And they send us to like the river, or I don't. They sent us everywhere.
To the lake, yeah. They're like, and you can't swim in the lake. They're like, we want to go swimming. Where's the pool at? They're like, we have no idea what you're talking about. So we went to the lake, and you can't swim in the lake. All we did was little pedal boats.
And if you can see the picture, you could tell that we were there because we made our own makeshift fire pit.
Yeah.
So we had the kids go out and find rocks and then make.
Yeah, we dug a little hole. We made the fire pit, dug a little hole, and I was like, Danielle loves s'mores, so it was like, we got to roast these marshmallows.
We got to. Shout out to s'mores, especially when you put, if for any of you guys that don't know this trick, you could do Hershey's, or you could do a Reese's Pieces, or not Pieces, but the Reese's cup.
Peanut butter cup.
Oh man, that's a whole nother level. Take your s'mores. There's s'mores up to the next level.
That's for you on a cheat day. If you're on a cheat day. And then we recreated this picture, and when we recreated it, it was the last time we went camping.
Yeah.
So now I got hair.
And she's older. You can tell she got eyelashes.
She's on her way to the military, actually. So this was Thais the year she joined the Navy. And as you can see, the fire pit is much different.
Yeah, it's a real fire pit. So and you can see the food on there. I wrapped up every packet.
Yeah. So you can tell this is the United States version of camping, right? Where we have a grill in the ground versus creating our own little fire pit there.
Oh, yeah.
So recreation is pretty cool. Like I think we only got 2 pictures that we ever recreated. This is one of them, and then a family picture that we recreated.
That's right. Right.
Those are the only 2 joints. And then the dopest and probably one of the realest camping trips that we ever did was when we hung out with the Kumeyaw tribe, and we was in Tecate, and we actually, this is a picture of the Temazcal, which is a sweat lodge.
Yes.
And this is how, they built the Temazcal out. And we talk about this a lot. There's in this picture, if you're watching it, there's 2 structures. There to the left, you see the structure where there's no blankets, and to the right, there's another structure. Actually, 3 structures.
Yeah.
And then the main one's the one with the blankets on it. So, like, they make these Temazcals from the blankets and everything like that. And we spent the weekend on the Kumeyaw reservation, bringing in the spring equinox.
Yes. And the Temazcal, it's one of those things, if you see how small it is, there had to have been at least 30 of us inside of that. So we all kind of squeezed in. It's a very spiritual experience. It's one of those where you put your body to the test because it's super hot. It's very uncomfortable. But while your body is going through this uncomfortableness, you allow your spirit to kind of be open. So you release things, and then you gain things, and then there's this whole sisterhood and this brotherhood and this combining of things that it was amazing. Yeah. It was amazing. It was spiritual. We brought in the sun every morning. Literally, we watched the sun as it raised, and when it raised, everyone was just like, yes, yeah. It was an amazing experience that we never had. Now, we didn't shower the whole time. That was crazy.
Whole weekend, no showers.
No, yeah.
Barely used the bathroom.
Yeah, no, I barely. Yeah, that was. That's a rough one.
It's real camping.
Rough. And but we were with friends that brought tons of food. We met the chief. The chief called us badasses. How do you say it in Spanish? Chingon, yeah. That was pretty cool. It was an awesome experience.
Yeah, that was the dopest camping experience. At the same time, a spiritual experience. Literally, this is the only photo that we have because you can't take a lot of pictures of being there. So this was, really dope. And they keep a fire going because the whole spiritual aspect of it. Like there's literally a whole ritual behind
process.
This.
Yeah, someone comes and they actually start the fire. I want to say 7 days before we get there. So 7 days before we get there, someone brings the fire, starts the fire, and then cares for it. Then 7 days after we're gone, he cares for the fire all by himself the whole time. I was like, man, that's pretty dope. And our friends, shout out to them, they actually left their whole tent and everything so that he could be comfortable while he stayed there the 7 days after we were gone.
Yeah, that's facts. So if you're thinking about camping, if you're considering camping, 1,000%, go do it. Try it. It's going to be the ultimate test. Like if you're thinking about marrying somebody, go camping with them first.
It's the truth.
I highly suggest that. You know what? I think I want to marry this girl. Take her camping.
You're gonna see the real.
Yeah. Then you go see, like, when times get rough, who she really is.
Yeah, that's a good point right there, babe.
Yeah. When you out there with your friends and they want to bring a date, man, you're going to learn some things about that date because all you're doing is talking out there. We've had a lot of awkward conversations. We had people get left in our campsites. Like, I'm telling you, like, people literally got left behind. And we're like, oh, shit, like, she just left, huh?
She left you?
Like, we don't even know you, bro.
Yeah.
We knew her.
We didn't know you.
But she left you here with us. Because you fucked up. Yes. You said some weird shit last night, huh?
She got to know.
Yeah. That's our camping experiences. Like we had people left at campsites. We had tents left behind. Yeah. We got the animals, all kinds of shit.
Yeah.
Danielle and I had, you know, whenever we look for quotes and stuff like that, we came across the same quote. So we're going to share this one. There's no Wi-Fi in the mountains, but you will not find a better connection. Right?
That's anonymous.
Yeah. So you definitely going to connect when you out there. You're going to be creative. As animals, you know, we're animals, we're mammals. We're supposed to be in nature. It's only right to get out there and explore nature and be a part of nature. And even if you're from the city, if you're from the country, no matter where you're from, you know, being out in nature is something that we have to do as individuals.
Definitely. If you have never camped before, please do. It's nothing like I said, sleeping under the stars at night, sleeping under the sun in the daytime.
You better in shade.
In the shade. But another thing is the grounding. There's nothing like grounding, getting back to your roots, getting back to nature. It keeps us whole. It keeps us to earth. It brings us back down to earth. There's a lot of times spiritually where we feel flighty, where we actually need grounding. Camping's an excellent way to ground.
That's very true. The nature is so perfect in all its chaos. My final thought is find a beautiful place and get lost.
I love it. My final thought is to just camp and have fun.
Just camp and have fun.
Yes.
This is Lyfe and Shyt.
Lyfe and Shyt.
Do us a favor. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe. Leave a review. Let us know what your thoughts are. That's the only way that this show is going to be successful. And we appreciate you. Talk with you next time.